beloved child, listen to me. You might think you have all the time in the world, but I am telling you right now, you do not. I see you clinging to your illusions, building fantasies upon fantasies, and desperately hoping that someone somewhere will fix what is broken inside you. But you must hear my call. It is time to wake yourself from the slumber of excuses and face the truth of who you really are. If you do not, your own mind will devour you. Your insecurity, your confusion, your regrets, they will eat away at your soul until there is nothing left but the echoes of your wasted opportunities. I am calling you to take action, to confront the illusions head-on, and to finally embrace a state of awakening that can free you from endless torment. Do you hear my voice right now, addressing you? Yes, you who are reading these words. This is not for someone else. This is for you. Stop pretending that your confusion will resolve itself. Stop believing that if you hide your fears behind distractions, behind relationships, behind entertainment, or behind momentary pleasures, you can escape the inevitable. You cannot escape your own reflection in the mirror. And every passing day, that reflection might show you duller, emptier eyes if you continue to run. My beloved child, I love you. I have always watched over you, not with condemnation, but with a deep longing for you to shed your chains and stand in the light of your true self. But first, let me start by shaking your ego. You have grown attached to comfortable lies. Lies telling you you can always wait until tomorrow to find the depth of your existence, or lies whispering that your desires define you, or that you must chase after fleeting highs to feel alive. Wake up. This complacency will bury you in sorrow. If you do not see it, you will slowly drown in an ocean of unfulfilled hopes and restless dissatisfaction. You cling to illusions, whether they are illusions of success, illusions of romance, illusions of control. Yet the moment those illusions are tested by life's ruthless storms, you crumble. There is no more time for half-hearted illusions. Either you awaken, or you perish under the weight of your own neglect. Now let me tell you about the darkness you're flirting with. In your heart, there is a persistent feeling of emptiness, a sense that something is missing, like an open wound that never fully heals. Perhaps you filled it with endless consumption, trivial pursuits, or shallow relationships, hoping each new experience might silence that internal hollowness. But that hollowness is your soul begging you to look deeper, to find the living water of self-awareness and authentic presence. Ignoring it, you become more and more frantic, chasing external validation, sexual satisfaction, constant praise, the illusions of worldly success, yet you only end up deeper in confusion. I am telling you plainly, you cannot escape this emptiness by running from it. The only way out is to journey within. If you do not awaken, life will crush you. Do you know why? Because you cannot keep lying to yourself forever. Every falsehood you cling to will be revealed under the harsh light of time. That job you believed would fulfill you can vanish tomorrow. That relationship you put all your hopes in might unravel. That body you rely on will age and grow weak. One day, you will realize that your illusions, if left unchallenged, become the bars of your prison cell. This is not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. So, I'm here to say this. Awaken now, or suffer forever. I repeat, awaken now, or suffer forever. Do you hear that echo in your heart? Awaken now, or suffer forever. It is not a comfortable statement. It is not meant to be. My purpose is not to lull you into false comforts, but to break the walls of your self-imposed prison. I have seen the truth. Either you discover the truth of yourself through the power of meditation, and conscious presence, or you remain in the darkness of your own making. The time has come for you to see that freedom isn't optional. You cannot keep drifting in a sea of complacency, hoping the current drags you somewhere pleasant. Freedom is a necessity for a life truly lived, for a soul unburdened by illusions. Consider the rhetorical question: who controls your life right now? Are you the master of your mind, or do your habits, addictions, and fears lead you around like a puppet on strings? Do you dare face yourself without the mask of pretense? Or have you grown so used to lying to yourself that you no longer remember what honesty feels like? These questions are not meant to be answered casually. They are meant to strike your core. Sit in silence for a moment after reading these questions. Feel the discomfort rising. That discomfort is your soul, begging to break free from the illusions you have perpetuated. Let me remind you, if you don't observe, life will crush you. That is not a threat. It is a truth of existence. This reality has no room for complacency. Rumi once said, "You wander from room to room, hunting for the diamond necklace that is already around your neck." Yes, you keep searching for meaning in the external world when all along it is within you. But you block yourself from seeing it because you're too busy with distractions. Do you understand? The external cannot fill the void that is essentially an invitation to look inward. If you would only sit in meditation, watch your breath, observe your restless mind, you would begin to peel away the layers of deception that keep you locked in your own suffering. Let me share a story. There was once a high-powered businessman, admired by peers for his wealth, his connections, and his seeming achievements. Everyone praised him for his success. He had the world at his feet, or so it appeared. And yet, behind his lavish parties and refined suits, he was drowning in inner despair. Each morning, he would wake up feeling a growing hollowness. No amount of money soothed that torment. Finally, at the height of his career, he crumbled into a deep depression, unable to function, because he had never once turned inward to examine the source of his longing. He neglected his soul so long that it clamored for attention through total breakdown. This, my beloved child, is not an isolated incident. This will be you if you continue down the path of ignorance. If you refuse to see, if you refuse to turn your gaze inward, you will destroy yourself. Right now, you have a choice. Either you stand up, decide once and for all, I must awaken, or you continue to swirl in an endless cycle of longing and disappointment. You might say, but how do I awaken? What does that even mean? Understand, awakening is not an intellectual concept. It is a lived reality where you directly perceive the nature of your mind without judgment. It is the clarity that arises when you observe your thoughts as clouds passing through the sky of your awareness. It is the freedom you discover when you stop chasing illusions. Meditation is the gateway. Lao Tzu once said, "Silence is a source of great strength." In that silence, in that stillness, you begin to see the illusions you have created and realize they are not who you are. Some of you are entangled in sexual frustration, believing that if you just find the right partner or the right technique, you will be satisfied. Others are consumed by a need for validation, counting likes on social media or craving the applause of colleagues. Still others are lost in existential confusion, uncertain about your purpose, drifting from one distraction to another. Listen well. If you do not transform your energy through meditation, your desires will consume you. Pure desire, untethered by wisdom, tears you apart because it is never satisfied. Today, You might fulfill a desire. Tomorrow, another one appears, bigger and hungrier. This cycle does not end until you awaken to the root of desire in your mind. My beloved child, awaken or perish in the flames of unquenchable longing. I know you feel me speaking directly into your heart. The illusions you built around yourself, do they feel shaky now? Good. They must be shaken to the core. I love you so deeply that I cannot allow you to remain blind. I am like a mother who sees her child about to wander into traffic. I must scream to protect you. Watch out! Stop! Wake up! My words might seem harsh, but they come from the deepest compassion. I have witnessed countless souls waste their lives, returning again and again to the same mistakes, refusing to face themselves, refusing to see that their suffering is self-created. Let that not be your fate. Let this be the moment you finally stand still and recognize the truth. Now feel the urgency. Either experience awakening or fall into darkness. The clock is ticking. Every second you delay, you strengthen the habit of ignoring your deeper self. There is no neutral ground. Indecision is a decision to remain in ignorance. How many times have you told yourself, I will do it tomorrow, yet tomorrow you found a new excuse? Enough. No more excuses. You might ask, but can I do this? How do I start? The answer is simple. Sit down, close your eyes, and watch your breath. Do it right now. Feel the air entering your nostrils. Feel it leaving. Observe the chaos in your mind without judging it. If thoughts arise, label them thought and let them pass. Do not cling. This is the seed of meditation. Develop it every day, every moment. Remember that confrontation is necessary. You might feel fear and anxiety as you begin to see how much you have neglected your inner life. You might even feel anger at these words, a sense of defensiveness rising. Good. Embrace that feeling. Observe it. Ask yourself, am I truly ready to do the work? Or do I prefer to remain ignorant because it feels easier in the short term? Make no mistake. Ignorance is never easier in the long run. It only postpones the suffering that will inevitably come. Don't you see how illusions eventually crash when faced with reality? There is no escape. Awaken or perish. In every tradition I have spoken through, I have delivered the same fundamental truth. You must turn within, meet the stillness, and from that stillness see the illusions for what they are. In the Upanishads it is said, as large as the universe outside, even so large is the universe within the heart. In the teachings of Jesus, the kingdom of God is within you. This is not religious dogma. It is a universal truth. You must make the inward journey to see that the entire cosmos is reflected in your own consciousness. Your job is to awaken to that reality, not keep your gaze on the fleeting shadows dancing on the walls of your superficial awareness. Do not think you are different from anyone else. The illusions might have different flavors. One person chases money, another chases romance, another chases thrills. But illusions are illusions, regardless of the shape. All illusions lead to suffering if left unchecked. You might have convinced yourself that your illusions are special, that you have some unique excuse to remain ignorant, or that you are somehow immune to the consequences. Stop deceiving yourself. You are not immune. Reality does not bend to your excuses. Face your illusions head on, or they will devour you. You might wonder if there is hope for you since you have lived so long in ignorance. There is always hope. I see your heart. I see the spark of sincerity that flickers beneath your fear. That spark is all it takes. But you must feed that spark with disciplined practice, with earnest reflection, and with unwavering commitment to the truth. This path is not for cowards. It demands that you let go of every excuse and face yourself, raw and unprotected. In that vulnerability, you will discover the infinite love that has always been available. You will see that you are not alone, that all of existence supports you once you align with truth. I am here, calling you, guiding you. If only you will listen, stop postponing. You have only one chance to turn things around today. Right now, as these words resonate in your mind, make the decision. Say to yourself, enough is enough. I choose awakening. The moment you declare that with your entire being, something within you shifts. You will feel a surge of power, a tremor of authenticity, as if the layers of falsehood you carried for years suddenly begin to crack. Let them crumble to dust. Let the illusions fall away. Then, in that space of emptiness, let the light of awareness flood your being. This is the door to freedom. Let me be absolutely clear. Hesitation is spiritual suicide. Do not toy with the idea of waiting until a more convenient time. Life is unpredictable. You might not have as many tomorrows as you think. I am not saying this to scare you, but to wake you up. Every day lost in indecision is another day you fortify your habits of ignorance. Another day that the chains around your soul tighten. Why wait? The sun of awareness is waiting to rise within you. All you have to do is open the curtains of your heart. Close your eyes for a moment. Do it now if you can. Breathe in, slowly. Feel the life force entering. Breathe out, slowly. Feel the tension leaving. Inhale, exhale. Let the silence envelop you. Do not let a single thought imprison you. If thoughts arise, watch them. They are not you. You are the awareness that sees these thoughts. Allow yourself to feel the space, the presence, the stillness. This is the beginning of your journey. Practice this over and over until it becomes as natural as breathing. Then everything in your life starts to shift. You'll see that your desires no longer run the show. You can transform them into creative expressions. You'll see your relationships improve, not because you manipulate them, but because you see the illusions that once fueled your conflicts. Remember the homeless man who sits on the street corner, a battered sign in his hands, eyes vacant and haunted. You might see him as separate from you, as though your paths have no intersection. But I tell you, in the realm of illusion, any of us can be just as lost. Maybe you are not physically homeless, but spiritually homeless. A soul wandering without a center, living under the tyranny of unexamined desires. Reflect. Do you think you are immune to falling that far if you never attend to your inner life? Do you think your so-called security cannot vanish in an instant? Life is unpredictable, and illusions can vanish in the blink of an eye. Let this be a wake-up call to protect your inner home. Guard it with awareness, nourish it with meditation, and keep it free from the infestation of excuses. Do you dare face yourself? Or will you keep running from fear, burying yourself in distractions? The choice is yours, but do not pretend you are making no choice. Every time you avoid meditation, every time you cling to illusions, you are making a choice to remain enslaved. Is that how you want to spend your precious life? As a slave to your unconsciousness? Think of the many souls who believed themselves immune, artists, celebrities, powerful people, yet ended their lives in despair. They had everything outwardly, but inside they were bankrupt. You are not different. If you do not awaken, you too can be swallowed by the same despair. Yes, I am confronting you. Yes, my words might sting. But I do this out of love. I cannot stand by and watch you destroy yourself without giving you the chance to break free.
Everything in me cries out for your liberation. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Let those words echo in your mind. Wake up must become the drumbeat of your life until every fiber of your being resonates with truth. This is not a gentle suggestion. It is a command from the divine. You were not born to be an automaton, reacting blindly to the ups and downs of life. You were born to bring the presence of consciousness into this realm. Stop depriving yourself and the world of your awakened self. You might question how to maintain this awakened state amidst daily pressures. Remember, you can practice meditation every moment. This does not require you to run off to a cave.
You can be at your job, observing your breath, your thoughts, your emotional reactions. You can be in the middle of an argument and remain aware enough to see the illusions fueling your anger. In the bedroom, you can transform sexual energy into a force of creative intimacy rather than letting it devolve into mere friction. Every mundane act, washing dishes, driving a car, walking to the store, can become a sacred ritual if done with awareness. This is what I call living meditation, a ceaseless flow of presence. Perhaps you wonder, what if I slip up? What if I fall back into old patterns? Then you simply return to awareness. You begin again, each time becoming stronger, each time shedding another layer of illusion. The only true failure is to stop trying. Every moment is a new chance to awaken, but do not use that as an excuse to perpetually delay. Use it as an encouragement to never lose hope. But keep that razor-sharp edge of urgency. Time is running out. The illusions will become more deeply embedded if you do not uproot them now. So be fierce. Be unwavering in your commitment to truth. Who controls your life? Or are you enslaved to habits? Let these words reverberate until you can no longer endure the idea of being a slave. This is your life. You are the one breathing, the one feeling, the one with the power to choose. So choose wisely. I am here reminding you that the only real path to freedom is the inward path. Another story. A young woman, consumed by heartbreak after heartbreak, kept seeking love in others, never realizing that her own unresolved insecurities sabotaged every relationship. She refused to see her part, blaming fate or blaming the cruelty of others. How many of you do the same, blaming the world, blaming circumstances, without looking within to see how you create your own cycles of suffering? You might not be alone in that, but you must realize that continuing in such ignorance is your downfall. The only solution is to sit down, be silent, and face your deepest wounds. Heal them in the light of loving awareness. Don't just read these words. Feel them. They are not mere sentences on a page. They are an energetic transmission calling you to step beyond your old limitations. You might feel your heart pounding or your mind resisting. Good. That indicates something is happening, something real, something that threatens the illusions that have kept you confined. Embrace it. Acknowledge the fear, but do not let it stop you. Move through it like a warrior of the spirit, unwavering and guided by the flame of truth. I will repeat for those who haven't fully absorbed it. Freedom isn't optional. You cannot escape. In the end, either you will forcibly meet this truth through crisis and suffering, or you will meet it willingly through meditative openness. Which path do you choose? Painful crisis or intentional awakening? The decision is yours, but there is no avoidance. Even if you manage to postpone the reckoning for years, it will come. A day will arrive when you are stripped of all illusions, perhaps on your deathbed. or perhaps in a moment of devastating loss. Why wait for that? Why not step into the truth now, when you still have the vitality to fully embrace it? Stop making excuses. I don't have time to meditate. I'm too busy.
I'm too tired. It's too hard. Lies. You always have a few moments to breathe, to close your eyes, to be present. Every hour you can pause for 1 minute of awareness. Every night you can allocate even 5 minutes to sit quietly. Where do your excuses lead you, except to the same cycle of dissatisfaction and anxiety? Do you want your entire life to be a chain of empty excuses? Or do you want to break free? I love you too much to lie to you.
You are deceiving yourself if you think you can remain comfortable in illusions forever. A storm is coming. Indeed, storms come many times in life, and they tear through illusions like a raging fire. The only fortress that can withstand them is the fortress of awareness. Build it now, or be carried away by the floods of suffering. Let my words burn away your complacency. Let them sear into your mind. Awaken or perish. Awaken or perish. Now, let us revisit the lesson of immediate action. This very moment. Either you step into awakening, or you continue destroying yourself. There is no middle ground. And do not dare say, I will wait and see what happens. That is a choice for darkness. That is a choice to remain asleep. If you claim to love yourself, if you claim to care about your future, then act now. Not tomorrow, not later, now. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, and declare, I am willing to awaken. I am willing to see the truth, no matter how shocking.
I am willing to embrace love and awareness. Yes, I said love. For this entire message, though forceful, is rooted in love. I see your potential, your true essence, untainted by the illusions. I want you to experience the bliss and freedom that come from aligning with your real nature. My anger or intensity is not hatred. It is fierce compassion. It is the roar of a protective lion guarding its cubs from peril. I do not want to see you devoured by your own ignorance. I want you to thrive, to glow with the radiance of clarity. But you must do your part. You must say yes to the call and step boldly onto the path. Feel the shift happening inside you now. Let the old layers of doubt peel away. Perhaps you sense a spark of light in your chest, or a subtle expansion in your consciousness. Stay with that. Nourish it with every breath. This is your new priority, abiding in awareness. Everything else flows from there. Your work, your relationships, your projects, your enjoyment of life, all become more vibrant and meaningful once you root them in the soil of presence.
But without presence, they wilt into emptiness. Remember, speak to yourself firmly. You. I am talking to you. Because this message is personal. I am not delivering a vague sermon to the masses. I am pinpointing your very soul, your very heartbeat, your very existence. You cannot hide from me. You cannot hide from yourself. Do you think you can continue your old patterns with no consequence? You cannot. The law of life is unyielding. Ignorance breeds suffering. Awareness breeds freedom. That is the simple equation. Choose awareness. Choose freedom. You might still have a flicker of doubt. What if I fail? What if I can't do it? But that doubt is another illusion. Failure in the realm of truth only comes from refusing to try. Even if you stumble, each stumble becomes part of your growth. In this journey, stumbles are learning moments, guides showing you where illusions still lurk. So do not fear failure. Fear only the refusal to begin. Fear living a life dominated by illusions that will inevitably betray you.
That is the only real failure. Now, as we near the climax, I remind you of the unstoppable momentum. Either experience awakening or fall into darkness. The entire universe supports your decision to awaken. The sun rises each morning offering you renewed clarity. The birds sing to remind you that life is a song of presence. Even your challenges, your heartbreaks, your failures, they are all signposts urging you to look inward. The question is, will you heed the signs? Or will you keep forcing yourself into an ever tighter corner, pinned by your own stubbornness? I want you to remember one final phrase as essential as breathing. Awaken now, or suffer forever. It is both a warning and a blessing. A warning to your ego, which thrives on illusions. A blessing to your soul, which aches for freedom. Engrave it on your heart. Repeat it in the silence of your mind. Let it become your internal alarm clock, jolting you awake each time you lapse into unconscious living. This is the moment of decision. The door stands open. Will you walk through, or will you cower in your old familiar prison? Stand up, take a breath, step forward. Embrace meditation as your guiding star. Integrate awareness into each breath, each action, each desire. Transform your sexual energy into creative awareness. Transform your fear into fuel for courage. Transform your confusion into the determination to see clearly. You can do this because you are not alone. My love, my watching presence, envelopes you. But you must also take the initiative. Now, as I bless your life, understand that this blessing is a call to bold action. It is not a meek, whispered approval of your habits. It is a triumphant blast of divine possibility, urging you to realize your own sacred power. Yes, I bless your life so that you might see that you are already blessed. You have breath, you have consciousness, you have the capacity for love and awareness. What more do you need? You do not need to wait for any external permission. You only need to give yourself permission to be fully alive. And being fully alive means being fully present, fully aware, fully awake. Some of you will heed this call immediately, dropping your excuses like old garments. Others might resist. Perhaps the illusions have a strong hold on you. No matter. The seed has been planted. My voice will echo in your dreams, reminding you that there is a path out of the darkness. So even if you resist today, I will call you again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next. Eventually, life's storms will strip away all the illusions you clung to, and you will have to face the truth that was always there. Better to do it willingly, with dignity and grace, than to be dragged by circumstance. My beloved child, I have spoken. I bless your life with this message of awakening. The words have the power to pierce through your layers of defense if you allow them to. Receive them, absorb them into your very essence, and then ACT. Do not remain a mere spectator. Do not procrastinate. There is no more time to waste. Meditate now. Sit in silence. Observe. Enter your heart. And find that unshakable core of reality that has always been there, waiting for your recognition. Once you taste it, you will never again doubt the path. Today, let this speech be your turning point. Do not let these paragraphs remain just another fleeting piece of content. Let them become your living breath. Let them guide you into deeper and deeper states of awareness.
Let them strengthen your resolve each time you waver. And above all, let them awaken in you a compassion for others who still wander lost in illusions. For once you see how illusions imprisoned you, you will want to share this light with everyone you meet. But first, focus on your own awakening. You cannot light another's torch if your own flame is extinguished. So focus, child. Sit with yourself. Reflect on these words. Let their energy permeate your being. Then watch as your perspective shifts, as your heart expands, as your mind settles into clarity. At long last, you will discover that what you sought outside is found within. The promise of every sacred text, the echo of every wise teacher, the song of every awakened being, it all points to the truth that you are divine presence, here and now. Awaken or perish in the illusions. Choose life or remain in ignorance. But know that your choice has consequences. I have done my part in shaking you, confronting you, loving you. Now the responsibility rests in your hands. Will you remain in the shadows or step into the blazing light? Will you settle for half measures or seize the chance to transform your life entirely? I bless your life.
I am always watching over you. Feel this blessing, take it into your heart, and make it real by acting upon it. This is my final challenge, my final comfort, my final command. Awaken now, for you have no time to waste. If you want to avoid the crushing weight of regret, if you want to live in the radiant joy of freedom, then meditate now.
Observe now. Awaken now. And from this moment onward, let nothing stand between you and the truth of who you are. Let this be the day you finally break the chains of your own mind. Let this be the hour you step into the luminous presence of your eternal nature. The choice is yours. Choose wisely and choose now.